Hey there, Internet. Keeve here, and welcome to the Cars and Keeve YouTube channel. And as you can see, I'm about squished in here. We have multiple different types of DI systems, and this video is about winterizing your DI resin. So really, truly, there's only two things that you're going to be doing. You're either going to be saving that DI resin for next season, or you're going to be discarding that resin and starting fresh. But either way, you're still going to want to make sure that your system is completely clean, out of water and all that kind of stuff, because this is plastic. Water inside of plastic, when it freezes, will expand and it can crack your housing. Even these tank style ones, these are FRP, fiberglass reinforced plastic. These can bust as well, and not just even the tank itself, but remember the head up here. This is where a lot of water kind of sits and where it freezes easier because it's kind of out here and not as insulated as, say, a tank is. Those parts can crack pretty easily. Now, unlike a pressure washer, there's no pump protector or any of that kind of stuff we have to do. We don't have to buy anything. Well, maybe a bucket, some Ziploc bags if you're going to keep your resin. Now, obviously, this is all going to depend on the climate that you live in. So if you live in the deep South, you really don't have to worry too much. If you keep it in your garage, it's probably not gonna get cold enough, but it's still, if you're not washing, it's best to kind of store it anyway. Up north, I mean, most of you who have DI systems probably aren't going to be able to use them. If you do have a place warm to store them, then that's fine. Bring it out, use it, put it back. I'll also show you how to lube the O-rings and all that kind of stuff and put away your empty vessels. So let's get into it. Check the links below for anything in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you have hype points that you feel I deserve them, go ahead and give it to me. If not, at the end of the video, I will show you a small creator to support and how to use your hype points. Let's have some fun. All right, like I mentioned, if you have a warm place to put it and you're just bringing it out once a month when it's warm enough to wash a car above freezing, whatever, and you keep putting it back, you're good to go. Resin itself, even when we do this process, we want to make sure we put it in a place where it's not going to freeze. The water is freezing and it's crushing, because these are just little bitty plastic beads that are charged with negative and positive ions. Those negative and positive ions attach themselves to the solids in the water, pulling them out of the water and leaving clean water in the end. That's exactly what the process is. But that water expanding is going to crush the little beads, and it's going to make them ineffective when it comes to regeneration and damage them as well. The other thing we make sure we do is we want them to be moist, wet. We don't want them to dry out. When they dry out, it exhausts the beads. They lose their charge, and then they have to either be regenerated or replaced. Now, companies like CR Spotless, the cartridges that are in here, they have exchange programs that you can do. Also, the cartridges are pretty well priced on Amazon. I'll leave a link below. They're about $150 for both cartridges filled. So you can just swap the cartridges around when you have two sets. Then you can buy you some bulk resin, keep them filled up, and you just keep swapping them out. It depends though. I mean, if you're only using for one season, then you just one set of cartridges, flip them around, do the exchange program, and you're good to go. You also got your Colombian Bam Bam as well. You know, it looks like a brick of a certain substance, but these will work as well when you do your refills if you decide to discard your resin and then in the spring fill them up. So you got your three methods. You can either store in a bucket with a sealed lid, Ziploc bags, or really heavy duty Ziploc bags. These are just around the house, so these don't cost me nothing. Or you're gonna store it in its current tank. If you're going to store in its current tank, like I mentioned, this needs to be stored in a warm place where it can't freeze. I like this bucket right here because I prefer 3.5 gallon buckets because they're smaller. They're going to hold whatever amount of resin that you need. Easier to store, cheaper. This is like $6.99, which I know is more than like a Home Depot bucket, but smaller form factor and translucent. I just really like it. Lids wise, $2, $3 lid right here will fit. Or you can get one of these lids right here that has the outer piece and then the middle piece screws on and off. So you can, you know, seal it up. I'll leave product tags in the video for these. Just great. They all come from Home Depot. Now you could be extra like me where you store it in the Ziploc bags and in the bucket. So I can keep the Ziploc bags from getting poked, but actually allows me 2 layers of keeping the resin moist and keeping the water from evaporating. These two have only been used once each. They were used in review videos and I depleted them completely. So they're both, the resin is dead. So let's do the spot buy first. And the way these work is the top twists off. And really the technology between this and this are the same really, other than this one has the built-in bypass and a different curvature. But water comes in one side, fills the tank up, water goes through the tube, comes out the other side, the water hose. That's how all these work. But with these, sometimes it's gonna be a little bit tough. So sitting like this is good. You can grip the bottom of this with your feet, and then you can spin the top off. So you gotta be careful. You're going to make a little bit of a mess. Maybe you could put the tank inside the bucket. Now I'm actually gonna dump this into this Adams bucket here because I'm trying to keep this resin, because at some points, once I figure out a regenerative system that I'll be able to present to you, you have the links to purchase everything, put everything together. It'll be an easy process from beginning to end. That's becoming very difficult to find, especially price-wise, because whatever money you spent goes into your cost per gallon over time. And what point are you going to make up that cost versus just buying it bagged up, stuff like that. But I'm going to pour it out, and this has been in here for a couple years, and there is still water in here and it's still moist. If you keep it in a warm place, or well, it doesn't have to be warm, just a place that doesn't get freezing like I have, you'll be just fine. But it is wet still. Oh yeah, that water kept well. It's the one thing I don't like about the tanks, is emptying the resin is a little bit more difficult. Filling it up, not as the same amount as the cartridges, but when emptying the resin, especially when it's caked in there and moist. Once you have enough of it out, you're going to need to get water in there. You're going to need to rinse it out and dump it. You can actually see in there, the inside of the wall is actually like it's like a milky color. Hopefully you can see in there, nice and cleaned out. And what you're going to do as well is clean out the cone itself, all of this resin here. Click off, this comes down, and then you have a little bit of area to grab onto this tube, and the tube just pulls out.
That's what she said.
You're going to be able to clean on the inside of there. That's going to allow you to be able to leave this out so this can air dry out. You could also use an air compressor or even a leaf blower to blow in there long enough. Once that dries out, all this dries out, you're going to put it together and put it away. You have a massive O-ring here that needs to be kept lubricated. Anytime you do refills, changes, anytime you see this O-ring, it needs to be lubricated. Let's lube this up.
No, the guy with the rubber glove was surprisingly gentle.
You really don't need much lube. You're just gonna see how it's in my hand here. We're just gonna put some around the whole edge. And then I'm just gonna even it out with my fingers. Now this not only helps protect the rubber from drying out and degrading, this actually allows you to get better leverage when you're tightening down hand tight. The lube is going to allow it to compress better, seal better. Everything is just better with this stuff. So we cleaned up, you let this dry out for half a day. We can put it back together. We'll put our tube. You don't even have to really put this tube on here. You can leave it open and just lay it in the tank, but you're just gonna seat it until it stops. Then you're gonna put your cone in there, twist it over. We don't necessarily have to tighten this all the way down. And you don't wanna do too tight because you wanna make it easy on you when you fill it up in the spring. Then you would seal this up, and this you need to put in a place where it can't be frozen. With the vessel itself, air dried out with no water, you can put that wherever you want. You really don't want it to freeze too many times, because I don't know if the plastic can degrade if it gets too cold. This one, I'm actually going to take this part off because these just screw off. And then I'm going to tip it over and pour all the water out that's in there. This actually works pretty good. The resin hasn't come out at all. Works great. This is the outlet side. This is the easiest way. You could bear hug it and turn it, or you could use your legs and the rubber of your shoes to give you some leverage. Oh my gosh. Here we go. That was on there a little bit. This one's the same way. This piece right here will turn out. This slides down, and you can pull this out. This one's got a lot in it. All right, let's wash it out. As you can see, we are completely cleaned out on the inside. We'll let that air dry out. That didn't have much resin at all in there, like nothing. Now, when it comes to these really big ones like this, I prefer to go ahead and lube it all up. That didn't sound right. All right, there's this one. And don't use Vaseline or petroleum-based products because you don't know if this is a natural rubber seal or a synthetic rubber seal. O-ring back in, very easy install. Now this bypass has multiple O-rings here. Both of these downspouts as well will need lubricant on these outer O-rings. And it looks like there's another O-ring in there, but you see it's a plastic ring clip. So once again, we let it dry out. Put the tube back in, bring this down, set that. Spin it on, like I said, tight enough to where we're putting some compression on the O-ring. This one has a lot of water in it as well, so I'm gonna tip it over and let the water out. Now, you don't have to let all the water out. You just need enough out to where, you know, when you take it off, it's not gonna be splashing all over you and it's not as heavy. You're gonna need your filter wrench, and this is tapered so it's smaller from the bottom, larger at the top. So at the bottom, you're just gonna be stripping. But as you get all the way to the top, that's when you're gonna have leverage on this. There we go. There we go. There's one. Put this on here and we'll do the other one. They shouldn't be on there that tight if they're put on properly and the O-ring is sealing properly. Now the manifold on these, very simple. Not a whole lot to do. There isn't even an O-ring or anything on here to silicone up. That's on the housings themselves. So all we have to do from this point on is just let this dry out. Leaf blow it out, air compressor out, leave it open for a day. Then we just grab from the center of the cartridge and pull them out. Now, if you're noticing these black rings here, these are custom cut rubber rings that I made myself to center inside of these housings here. Some circle cutters and cut them out and notched them to where water can get by. They're just way better than the ones that CR Spotless provides. And when you buy refills from them, they don't provide you those. They only provide them with the system itself, or you can buy them separate on their site, like $8 a piece. Any kind of like mesh that water can flow through, you can just wrap around here and you can make it, you know, it's nice and tight. Like the Vavor ones use like this, it's just wrapped up mesh and they just put it around. Works perfect. Now I didn't show lubing all that up, but you know where I'm coming from. You got enough free lube content in this video already. You got to pay for the rest. On both of these cartridge filters are these massive rubber gaskets here. We are going to lube those up as well. Now on these, we didn't lube them up a lot. We put a nice thin layer on it to help, you know, keep them from drying out, keep them nice and flexible and easy to seal. Silicone lube is food grade safe, so you're okay there with the water. We'll put them on once it's all dry. So you can see they're just rubber. I just cut out notches. So we have this top that we'll screw out. Then we just extrude out enough to fit in the bag. Right. That's enough. Boy, we ought to fit the whole thing in that 1 gallon bag, but I don't want to put it all in. I guess we probably could. Let's see if we can fit it all in here. Ooh. Sure as crap can. Look at that. And it's going to be really easy to make this airtight. It's a nice bag of Mr. Misty or an Icy. That's not going anywhere. So like for me, it would be a double method. We have bag inside the bucket, so that way the bag can't get punctured. We have a double seal as well. You're good to go. Now you're gonna wanna rinse this one out. Water will leak out, which is good. That gives me enough slurry to be able to get it out to put into this Adams bucket. There we go, we're all cleaned out. You can see it's discolored down there. Some resin's gotten trapped in some of that filtering. You're also going to clean out the cap as well. Once it's all dried out, you're going to want to put it together. Put our seal back on the top. Got my little guide. Perfect. That top part is all dried out. Everything is all dried out. We could put it all together. You could store them separate as well. They don't have to be put together. It's just easier to put away together. I'm gonna put these on here and just spin them a little bit. We don't care how tight. We just want it tight enough for that O-ring to compress some. And remember, in the springtime when you want to put everything back in, you're gonna want to lube those O-rings once again. All right, we have our 10-inch water drop here. Now, the CR Spotless has a 10-inch, but it's the exact same thing. It's just a smaller cartridge. These are actually pretty easy. These don't have to be that tight. They have a pretty decent O-ring. They just need to be unscrewed and screwed at the exact same time, so that way they don't get, you know, out of kilter here. All right, so inside of here, two really big seals, just like this. We're gonna wanna just put a nice little light even coat all around on these. Check this out, see? It has this slider right here that can actually expand and move with it a little bit. That's what allows it to fit perfectly nice and straight and not bind. So that's an area you wanna lube up really good as well. You're gonna wanna pour the water out. We'll do the same as we did on the other one. That one was on there. Here we go. We'll undo these, and these, like I said, these have carbon filters in them. So carbon doesn't matter if it freezes or not. We're trying to protect the plastic housings themselves. These are two new filters that I'm putting into my lineup because carbon just isn't enough. I'm having rust problems in my system. What I'm attributing that to is manganese. And manganese can rust stuff. It can discolor water, those types of things. So I have a manganese and iron removal specified filter. There's carbon as well, which will take care of chlorine. And then another one that's a sediment chlorine filter that actually will help get rid of rust. These have seals at the bottom and the top. So these have a double O-ring as well, but as you can see, it's not only at the bottom, there's two O-rings at the top. That's why you can't take water drop housings, put them on a CR Spotless, and vice versa. It's a very specified thread pattern. There's a plastic, just an X in here that goes in the center, and that will line up in the center of the filter, so it's always nice and lined up. Air dried, everything done, put it back together. Me, myself, I'm gonna go ahead and put my filters in here. I'm gonna put that rust and sediment filter first, then manganese and iron filter second. This is the inlet, and that is the out. Make sure you lubricate those O-rings. We did that off camera. We put our gaskets in. The one that has the concave on one end is the one that goes down. You can see how if you were to put this on one that's fixed, how hard it would be to get it to go on. This just slides out a little bit and goes right on. And these as well, they don't need to be that tight. Store away. That's a lot to do because there were so many different DI systems, but you're most likely going to have just one of these types. If you have the very small ones, the 2.5 by 10, it's the same thing, just on a smaller form factor. You want to take care of it the same way. Obviously, those as small as they are, it might be easy to just kind of cap them off and store them with the water in them somewhere in a warm area. So there you go. Don't forget to check the links below for anything in the video. Also check the product tags of the video as well. It's another source for us to be able to get affiliate income through YouTube as well. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hype points, if you feel I deserve some, you can go ahead and give me some. If not, I have a small creator here I can show you, and I'll show you how hype points works. It's only on mobile. This is attention to details with Chelsea. As you've seen this video, I did everything you're not supposed to when washing a black truck. That's a lot actually. But you just swipe left on the comments. She already has 5,680 hype points. I'm going to hit the hype button. I can give her 710 points. Now she has 6,390 points. There's a leaderboard for it. It helps smaller creators grow organically. You can't have more than 500,000 subscribers. 500,000 subscribers is not a small channel. To me, it's not. To YouTube, I guess it kind of is. And they have to be partnered with YouTube, and their video has to have been made in the last 7 days for you to be able to hype it up. So there you go. I'll see you in the next video. Hey there, Internet. Keeve here. And welcome to... Hey there, Internet. Keeve here. And welcome to the car. Hey there, Internet. Keeve here. Plastic, I believe, is what they're called. And you're either going to be saving that DI Resin. Boom shakalaka. That was. So there's two types of storage that I prefer. The first one is, so there's two types of storage. Furthest 3.5 gallon is small. This is a translucent. So this has actually been sitting here without. So this is and it's not going to splash it. Okay. Got to pay for that.